If you can't kill a boss, no reason why you can't look like one. Moogle putting the wow in transmogs. Once again, the Wrathful set, the PvP Wrathful set gets a positive review. Got to head over to the Wrath of the Lich King version of $1 to get the Wrathful Gladiator's Dreadplate Shoulders. Moving on, the chest piece is pretty easy to get. The Bastion of Twilight Chokel is the boss, 10% on the drop rate for the Battle Plate of the Apocalypse. Very, very dreary, dark sounding Death Knight name. The Hull Plate Girdle, Battle of Dazzle Ahar, Heroic, Lady Jaina Proud, more kind of a low drop rate, but worth it. Really looks Death Knight to me. Moving on, we're going to get the legs out of the way. Various mop raids from, or you could just step up and buy it on the auction house. Actually, it's one of those drops that you could, that's bind when equipped. Moving on, we have a Troll DK showing the Charred Saronite Greaves, Ulduar, Ignis the Furnace Master. Actually, you can't really see them that well on a Troll, but you'll see it on the other characters. He's doing a spin. As you can see, that's a Gilded Thorian Cloak once again. Hands of the Enclave. Ulduar, part of the same tier set as the boots. Got about a 15% drop rate on the hands. The back Gilded Thorian Cloak, Karazhan, BC version terrestrial, Ilhoof is the boss, 17% on the drop rate. Sticking with the Lady Janai to show you the Dragonbone Warhelm, straight out of the Bastion of Twilight, which is part of the same tier set as the chest, and I believe also the legs, sort of, kind of. The weapon, Fang of the Earth. You gotta head over to the Bugland, bring some spray, and you could maybe kill Amber Shaper Unsock out of Heart of Fear Heroic to get the shoulder pads of Misshapen Life. Moving on, we're going to show you the chest. This is a recolor of an old Cataclysmic tier set. It's a recolor out of Isle Expeditions, or you could just step up, buy it on the auction house, and they are pretty cheap now, so you can that's probably the best way to go. The belt, Poison Binder's Girth, Siege of Orgrimmar Mythic, Sun Heart is the boss, 18% on the drop rate. Been using that belt a lot lately, especially in this particular episode. Moving on to legs, Geocrag Laggards, Isle Expeditions, or the auction house, part of the same tier set as the chest, so maybe you get a lucky drop, or you just step up, buy it on the auction house. The Undead is stepping up and showing you straight out of Mugushan Vault Heroic, Garajal, the Spirit Binder, very troll-like name, 15% on the drop rate to get the boots there. And the hands, Grasp of Serpentine Might, Terrace of the Endless Spring Heroic, Cache of Sulong, 24% on the drop rate. So basically the boots, the gloves, the shoulders, as well as the helm, all part of a tier set from Mop. As you can see, the head, Garalon's hollow skull, so you're walking around with this big hollow skull. Heart of Fear Heroic, Garalon is the boss. And last is the weapon, which really works incredibly well with this set, straight out of Blackrock Foundry, the Black Hand. This tells me Frozen Waste across the board for Frost DKs, Dread Worm, Shoulder Guards, the Nighthold Mythic, Tichondrius is the boss, 5% on the drop rate. Now we're going to go to Wrath of the Lich King and head over to Ulduar. Yogg-Saron is the boss to get the Valorous Dark Rune Chest Guard. And the belt is going to bring us to good old BFA. And you're going to have to head over to Nazjatar. This is a benthic gear that you could get as a drop or a world quest or just buy from the vendor. So lots of options there. Moving on, the legs, part of the same tier set as the chest, straight out of Ulduar. The Cache of Winter, 5% on the drop rate for the Valorous Dark Rune leg plates. And we're going to show you the boots next, which are the Laystone Toe Kickers, the Nighthold Mythic, part of the same tier set as the shoulders and the gloves, I believe. As you can see, decent drop rate on the feet. Moving on, we're going to show you the hands, the Dreadworm Gauntlets, the Nighthold Mythic Star Agrar, as I can't even begin to pronounce it. Imagine if I was drunk trying to pronounce that. Oh my god. And now we have a troll showing you the Gilded Thorian Cloak, straight out of Karazhan BC version, terrestrial Ilhoof, he's a devil. And moving on, the head, Crown of Forgotten Kings, Utgard Pinnacle, King Euron is the boss, 8% on the drop rate. And last but not least, the weapon, Primal Gladiators, Mage Blade, if you're Horde, Grievous, from the WoD PvP vendor. Going for an unholy look here, the shoulders, pauldrons of the Dragonblight. Hour of Twilight, Archbishop Benedictus is the boss, 8% on the drop rate. Always like those 3 end dungeons from Cataclysm. Moving on, the chest is straight out of the Eternal Palace. Heroic, Lady Ashvane is the boss, kind of a low drop rate to pick up the tier set chest piece. Moving on, we have an undead showing you the belt, which is from Tomb of Sargeras. It's Hard Jaden is the boss, 5% on the drop rate to pick up that waist guard, which is part of a paladin tier set, I believe. Moving on, the legs, Tide Goddesses Wargreaves from the Eternal Palace. Heroic, Queen Ajara is the boss, kind of a fair drop rate to pick up the legs. And I believe we have a Lady Orc showing the Chrono Boots, which are not out of Hellfire Citadel. They are from End Time, I believe. Made a boo-boo there. 10% on the drop rate. Always like Marzon. Great looking dragon. Nice to have him as a mount one day. And the hands, Gauntlets of the Temporal Interference, End Time, Echo bosses. All of them drop it. 8% drop rate. So that's 8% from 4 different bosses there. And the back is Tanan Jungle Supreme Lord Kazakh. Fair drop rate to get the marked Cloak of Command, which really works well with this set. In the head, the Lava Dipped Great Helm, Black Rock Foundry Heroic, Heart of the Mountain, 15% on the drop rate. And finally, the axe, which is the Wild Gladiators Decapitator. If you're Horde, it would be Warmongering. Gonna head over to Hellfire Citadel for the shoulders, Demon Gaze Pauldrons. There's the boss, 7% on the drop rate to pick up the shoulders. We're going back to basics, back to DK school, so you probably had this when you first went through DK school, but if you don't, you can get it from Quartermaster or Zog from the Death Knight Order Hall. As you can see, that's part of the original Transmog set when you first become a Death Knight. That's a good scenario, by the way. Girdle of the Demonic Wrath, Hellfire Citadel. There's the boss or the mob or the rare. Not exactly sure what that is. Probably a boss because it's a low drop rate. Moving on, we have the legs, also part of the original DK set that you get out of DK school. It's a uniform you have to wear. Quartermaster Orzog is the boss, and it only costs 1 gold. You might already have it though. Moving on, we have the feet or the boots, which are the Narsong Greaves, Volley of the Four Winds, the Gratitude of the Snowplow, or Snowplow. I think winter is on my mind, that's why I said Snowplow. The hands, Demon Gaze Gauntlets, part of the same tier set as the shoulders, Hellfire Citadel, Soulbound Construct, kind of a fair drop rate to get the hands. The back, Platinum Mesh Cloak, which you can buy straight from the Quartermaster in Dalaran, Wrath of the Lich King version. Moving on, the head, Dread Wake Helm, the Burning Throne, Agrimar is the boss, 5% on the drop rate to get that old gladiator look helm, and the weapon, as you can see, straight out of Hellfire Citadel. The Tomb of Sargeras. You got to be a Tomb Raider to get the Grave Warden Pauldrons. Basically, it drops from the Fallen Avatar. It's a regular mode for Tomb of Sargeras. And we have about kind of a low drop rate though. Moving on, we're going to show you the chest. Super easy to get. Stormwind Ogrimmar, Cata PvP Vendor, 3 Marks of Honor to get the Cataclysmic Gladiator's Dreadblade chest piece. Since when does armor require 4 different words for a name? The Poison Binder Girth, Siege of Ogrimmar Heroic, Sun Tenderheart, 18% on the drop rate from that old mop set. Moving on, we're going to show you the legs, which are not the Cider Silk boots. They're actually the Cataclysmic Gladiator PvP piece, 3 Marks of Honor, Stormwind or Ogrimmar. Now we have a Worgen. I love Worgen. Spiked Terrawake Great Boots, Tomb of Sargeras Heroic, and Razorjaw Swiftfen is the boss. Moving on, we have the hands, Grave Warden Handguards, part of the same tier set as the shoulders. Jaden is the boss. Kind of a low drop rate, but worth the effort. We have a Draenor lady showing you the back, which is the Dark Phantom Cape. You can just kill everybody in the Blasted Lands, hope you get a drop, or just step up, buy it on the auction house. Kind of a low drop rate, but just buy it on the auction house. And the weapon, as you can see, various BFA zones or the auction house to get the Plundered Troll Ceremonial Basher. If you're still listening up and until now, I want to say thank you for watching, and I'll close out by saying what I always say: whatever it is by you, whether it is morning, afternoon, or night, make your day epic.